Hello everyone. Today we're talking about the volunteer learning experience, and we're going to be hearing directly from one of our fantastic facilitators in relation to what makes this programme so impactful for learners. My name is Trish Eccles, and I'm extremely fortunate, and I really mean that, to manage the volunteer-led education programme at Parkinson's UK, which delivers an introduction to Parkinson's for health and social care staff working in care homes, nursing homes, and professional carers who deliver care at home. I'm joined by Helen Morgan.
I'm Helen Morgan, and I'm a retired senior charge nurse from a very busy hospital in the northeast of Scotland.
For someone who's never heard of the volunteer-led education programme before, how would you describe it, Helen?
What the learner's experience is, as I've said already, a lived experience from someone with the condition. If they're being trained by me, if they're being trained by some of the others, they'll be getting experiences of someone who is a carer of someone with Parkinson's, the spouse of someone. And we're really fortunate in our volunteer-led group that we've got a facilitator who's actually a retired Parkinson's nurse. We try and have a nice relaxed atmosphere. They don't need to be taking notes. They will get a workbook of their own that they can work through. We want it to be interactive as much as they want it to be. Now, obviously, we can't go through everything with Parkinson's in a course that lasts an hour. It's purely an introduction. It allows the learners to see that everybody with this condition is different, and they need the compassion and an understanding of the condition. So that's what I hope that this hour-long education will give them. But what's vital, and this is the main thing that I hope everybody would learn, is that they get it on time. It is vital that patients with Parkinson's get their drugs on time, every time. But then they also discover little lived-in things. Yes, we give facts and figures, but I'll show them things that I use for tying buttons. I'll show little bits of exercise for keeping the dexterity in our fingers, so that we can continue to be getting dressed independently. Things about brushing your teeth and getting a toothbrush with 3 heads, how that makes life a bit easier for cleaning your teeth. And I don't think that there's other courses do that type of thing. Yeah, when I was newly diagnosed, my niece had a baby. I was frightened to hold him in case I would let him drop because I had a tremor. But he was crying and she gave him to me, and he quickly went to sleep because I'd cupped his head in my hand, which was tremoring, and the next was he was sound asleep. So Parkinson's is not all bad.
How wonderful. What a great story. What do you notice in the learners by the end of the programme?
They reflect that they may need to change some of the ways that they're dealing with people with Parkinson's. For instance, not talking and walking someone to the toilet at the same time, because if they freeze, it's difficult to be chatting and walking at the same time. They become much more aware of the importance of realising that just because Mary or Jeannie or whoever it is they're seeing could do it yesterday, they may not be able to do it today. And it's not because they're being awkward, it's because of the condition. And, it's like a light bulb for them.
I want to move on to the facilitator experience. What do you enjoy most about facilitating the course? And I'm sure it won't be working with me, but we do have a good rapport, and I say that in jest, of course.
What I enjoy most about facilitating the course is that although I've been given this diagnosis, being able to impart some of my knowledge and lived in experiences to the carers, that is what spurs me on to keep going. For me, it's remembering that when someone says, "Thank you, Helen," I will change my practice.
And it must be wonderful to see learners grow in confidence following the delivery of the session and having that feedback come back to you.
And from that, it goes into my everyday life. You know, somebody nothing to do with Parkinson's UK or the facilitators facilitating this somebody came to me at something else I was at and said, "Can you give me some advice? My brother has just been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Can you point me in the right direction?" Now, I felt really, really good that I was able to give numbers, where they could get, how they could get exercise classes, etc. So, it's not just the delivery of the course, because you begin to get known and people in the area start asking.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about joining one of our sessions that we deliver? If they were a carer, either in a nursing home or care home, or domiciliary carer providing care at home, what would you say to them if they were caring for someone with Parkinson's, or even if they weren't caring for someone with Parkinson's and they wanted to learn more about this condition? What would you say about, joining the volunteer-led education programme?
I would be saying to them, it's worthwhile. It's one of the best hours of your life to learn just a little bit. That's all you're going to learn, is just a very little bit. Even us living with Parkinson's every day is a school day, even for us. So I would say to people who are interested, get in touch with the education, with course bookings, get yourself booked on. You will get a place on a course.
I'm going to just finish up now by summarising a little bit by saying, I think we've touched on what makes the volunteer-led education programme different from other programmes. We've also looked at what volunteering means to you, Helen. We also touched on what learners take away, and we also finalised there by touching on why should someone join one of these training sessions. And I hope that really came home to people. You can tell by listening to Helen here the atmosphere that you can expect. It's relaxed and it's very informative. And I just want to thank Helen for joining me today. Please visit the Learning Hub at Parkinson's UK and look for the course, which is an introduction to Parkinson's. And we look forward to seeing you and receiving an email from you that we can respond to and deliver your 1 hour training session, which will give you a certificate as well, by the way. Thank you, Helen.